the thing that, I don't think I've shared is the thing that is most indelible in my life when my mother struggling with me, and I'll never forget it. And I don't recall if I responded to her at the time, but it's marked half a century of my life when she said, because I was giving up. I couldn't read this chapter, whatever it was. She said, it's okay to be average. And I think about that all the time, man. I mean, and I forgive her, I think, for that. I think, because she was struggling with me. But that's a hell of a thing to say to a kid. I loved her deeply, and I'm here because of her. But that shapes a lot of the early, that person that, and it's shaped who I've become because I've done everything in my power to overcompensate for the struggle and for that mindset where I could have easily believed that and I could have easily become that.
We will never get past Donald Trump if we continue to elect the same people and make the same decisions that got us here in the first place. And I will tell you, there are people out there that say if you go out and if you make this endorsement and if you do this, your political career will be over. And to that I say, I don't care.
One thing I think about a lot is right around the time I came out, when you get deployed, they tell you to write a letter. It just says just in case on the outside.
Wow.
So as a sitting mayor of my hometown, I had a beautiful house, I had good friends, I had like a good life. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, all right, but I'm a grown-ass man, and I don't actually know what it's like to be in love. And if I get back, I'm not going to let that continue. And then one day I did it. I wrote a little op-ed in the local paper. But the story I was starting to tell was that sometime after that, I run into this woman I know, I think in the lobby of the county city building. I'm walking into work. I know she's a little more conservative. And she comes up and she says, I ran into your friend and he's wonderful.
Oh.
And the thing to recognize is like for her, she was signaling something pretty big for her.
Yeah.
Versus if I treated her to a lecture on the difference between a friend and a partner, right?
Yeah.
That would have pushed her right back into the arms of these people who don't want anything good for like me. So what I take from that is this broader process that needs to go on where we find people, and as passionate as we are and as right as I believe we are about the big things, even though I'm open to the fact that we may not be right about everything, we're not telling people that they are bigoted or racist or whatever, because they don't already start out in the same place that we are. Right? There has to be that process of kind of inviting people to look at things the way we look at things, versus commanding them to. And I think that is something that in the culture of my party has been especially challenging in the last 10 or 20 years.
Boxing watch party, right? Recognizing that we're having problems with Latino males, I'm like, you know what? I know, number one, when there's always a fight, Canelo always fights 2 times a year. So I told my team, boom, let's do this. We're going to do a cool event. We're going to rent out a club, put the match on there, send out flyers, get the community come in there, get the press in there. And, nothing's happened. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? The DC consultants were basically like, well, we're a little confused. Okay, what are you confused? We don't think it's a good idea to put something together, a boxing match where people are boxing in front. First of all, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Second of all, that actually is a really fucking good idea. But that's for a later point. Right?
Yeah.
Number 2, there was some concern that this would perpetuate the stereotype that Latino men are violent. I am a Latino man. I am telling you, we like doing this. It's not because I want to perpetuate the stereotype of men being a lot violent. And there was some talk about how it is too Latino, right? Chuck, did I summarize it all?
Yeah. And then you maybe a little bit worried about serving alcohol to Latinos while they're watching boxing match.
Yeah. That's the other one. How are we going to serve beer at an event while they're watching boxing? I'm like, you just bring the beer. And I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. Chuck's in charge. I'm taking it all out of your white hands. Chuck is in charge of this. And only Chuck and the Latino staffers that know this world are going to do this. And that's it. And sure as shit, it was a great event.
Well, I mean, listen, whether we like it or not, we live in a really diffuse media environment in which you can no longer, check the box by going on MSNBC a couple times a week. Frankly, I go on those shows in part to repackage those interviews to be able to talk to more people on social media.